Hello. What a wonderful day it is today. Today is September 9th, 3rd, 2016, and I am here in Rome. The light is very bright. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon, and getting closer to autumn, but it certainly doesn't look like it. Today I am with Doreen Virtue and Redley Valentine's relatively new deck of cards that deal with your past lives. Actually, it's not, I'm sorry, it's Doreen Virtues and Brian L. Weiss. Okay, so it's not, Redley Valentine is not on this deck. I just got this deck of cards recently. I wanted to use it for our weekly Oracle card reading for next week. So starting from the day after tomorrow is Sunday, from Monday, September 5th to Sunday, September 11th. So I wanted to focus on the energies of past lives, because I know that a lot of you people don't even know what is a past life and don't even know that you lived in past lives, and some of you don't even care. Why is that? First of all, it's because of ignorance, and second of all, is because of not wanting to get close to the light that's already all around you, so it's already close to you, but being as still as possible so it doesn't permeate you. But again, you were created, by light, with light, and in the light, for the light, so there's no way out of it. The only way out of it is when you follow the false light that brings you down, and that's the only false light that there is, and we learn not to follow it, and we call it the devil or Satan because that's its name. So with this wonderful tool, there's a beautiful booklet coming with this deck. I'm checking out Brian L. Weiss, that I don't know too well. It says, an America's leading authority on past life regression therapy. Seems to be a doctor too. Very wise soul indeed, from the energy that gets to me. And may he and Doreen Virtue and everyone else contributing to this deck of cards be blessed now. We are always in contact with the energy of past lives. Every day that we might get flashbacks or meet someone from a past life. I had someone greeting me on the street the other day, and I was doubtful at first. Then the first thing I asked seconds later, because I didn't understand who that person was, not having ever met him in this life, if perhaps I met the person in another life, and the answer of the angels was yes. And this person was a librarian when I was studying to enter priesthood in a past life, and he would give me books for me to study, and while I was attending in Rome, these seminars, and but in another life, seminars and schools that lead you to be a priest of the Catholic faith. So he just waved at me. He said hello. He wasn't crazy. Absolutely not. He doesn't have any magical authority or knowledge in this life, so it has to be something that came from his heart and gut, that we always have to learn to follow, as Sonia Choquette says, never follow your mind exclusively, but also especially follow your heart and your gut. So based on these principles, that we're always in contact with different parts of our lives. What I'm recounting to you happened yesterday. Yesterday was a Friday. And I just remembered about my past life studying as a priest, when I will research on these books and stuff, learning how to do different things. These are messages, general messages for all of you watching the video, so that you understand who you were in past lives. Some of you might get hints, some of you clarifications on what you might or might not know. This is touching you next week, because next week energetically, no one has said it so far, will be very connected thanks to Mercury retrogrades and other things that can be turned into blessings if we know how. These energies will lead us to understand certain things. So we want to get a card for the beginning of next week, a card for the middle, a card for the weekend. There are no reversed with these cards or any of the angel cards by Doreen Virtue and associated authors, so to speak. So we only get cards upright, which is more positive. And when I read normal traditional tarot, I use reversals too, but every divination tool must be used with its rules. We can't make them up. But you can create a new divination tool of your own, perhaps a new oracle card deck, just following the rules that the divine not imposes onto you, but communicates to you through a certain situation. Those who don't follow, they are cast out because they don't follow. And if you don't follow, it means that you don't want to be in a certain life situation. Okay, some people don't want to be in life at all. So past lives, past lives are something that we are sure to have lived. Okay, it's divine wisdom. Okay, the church doesn't mention them because it's not the time. Card for Monday and Tuesday is trust and have faith. There's a beautiful angel. It's telling us that you, and perhaps me too, because I'm reading these cards with you, you were something or someone important in a past life that you lived, but you had to learn how to have more faith in God and how to trust God more. And this is coming to you today more as a reminder that sometimes when you feel there isn't a way out to a certain problem, in truth there is. So don't magnify the problem for what it's not, and try to see it for just that everyone knows their future, and everyone knows what's going to happen to them, and everyone knows their destiny, and everyone knows what's coming to them. If we only bother to ask the divine wisdom, I heard recently it being called the source, God. Let's not be afraid to call God God, but we can use other names too. The universe is not God, but the universe is a creation of God, so it's not a perfect synonym, although it's a significant part of God, obviously. But God is more powerful than the universe that He created. Okay? So for Monday and Tuesday, remember that you'll see people, hear voices, and be in contact with energies from past lives, karmic energies, bringing you to today's karma. That is, remember that in the past you learned that you had to trust and have more faith in God, and that is being reproposed into you in this current life because perhaps you haven't learned past life lessons properly, or you're not remembering them entirely right now. Okay, today's second card is for Wednesday and Thursday, food and hunger. Perhaps, and some of you maybe did not work on this very much. In a past life, maybe you were poor, and maybe you made a vow of poverty if you were a nun or a priest, or you selected things that weren't luxurious or weren't expressing what we call abundance in all its forms. It could have been allowed in case that you were part of the priesthood or part of any type of religion or church that's associated to God Jehovah. And in part, if other existences were lived, it could be that you chose to be poor when you could have been rich. So that's bad karma, because God wanted to give you a present and you didn't accept it. So middle of next week, you realize that you don't have to starve yourself in this life. You don't have to give up on things on this life. You don't have to give up on anything if you don't want to, and God doesn't want you to. So let go of past life traumas in this sense, and you don't have to reiterate those choices. If you're called to be a priest or similar in this life, follow that choice, and you can make a vow of poverty against some Franciscan friars, for example, decide to be poor. A lot of Buddhist monks decide that, all of them, they want to be poor and live off offerings coming from other people and so on. So if God calls you to be that, absolutely renovate these vows. If not, and you can certainly be sure right now just by posing to the angels the question. If you're not called to be one, please refrain to especially select out of all the things that can be holy, those things that will make you suffer in a life that's not ecumenical, that's not inside of part of a greater religious institution. Okay, and we're always supposed to be holy people of religious institutions that somehow are connected to Jehovah in a way or another. Okay, no one is called to be a high priest of a satanic temple. In truth, no one was created by God with that duty, unless it was a very bad karma. But in that extent, it's never been the case and will never be the case. If someone is called to be, say, a Satanist for life, because not to pay a price, but to remember what it's like and never do it again. Not to that extent, though, not to dedicate your whole life to it. So sometimes God teaches us lessons and puts us through trials and tribulations. Third card for next week, and looks very beautiful. First time I see it, is trees. It's called trees. Trees card is so connected to Buddha and his wisdom, connected to rejuvenating and being close to nature and being close to fairies. So in past lives, and you'll understand this more as you spend time on your own during next weekend, you were definitely connected to nature. You might have been a part of nature, you might have been a fairy, if that's possible. You might have been an incarnated elemental, you might have been an animal, or if you believe it to be possible, a tree or close to a tree. You might have been, I don't know, the owner or the manager, or the doorkeeper of some type of huge park, perhaps in Sweden, or in a very enlightened and full of nature type of country. Simply, you might have liked trees, and somehow this is coming back to you because you're sitting down on your favorite bench in your favorite park. Thinking now of Central Park in Manhattan, but most of you might have not even have been there, and I live so far away from it. But and you just sit down and you enjoy nature, and you're like, you know what? I've always liked this, and we've all always liked this. I mean, trees and nature, but not all of us have manifested it in every life. Some of us might have been never connected or never particularly connected to nature. Almost 50% of us have never had that special connection, deep, intimate connection with nature ever. So it comes as no surprise that, you sit down on your favorite bench again. You wait for the winds of the fall, meaning autumn, the cool winds coming to you. You relax, you breathe in, you breathe out, and you connect to the trees and the birds and the animals, and you realize that, you always wanted to be part of this because you always were and always will be. Again, unless you chose to be out of life and with the anti-life. Baphomet or Satan, or call it what you will. Life is always leading to life, and if you chose not to be with life, you will pay a price, and that's a universal law. And it's not about being close-minded, it's about being as open-minded as hearing the voice of truth that you have the right not to hear because God gave you free will. But in the end, I'm thinking if that's revolutionary or independent or smart type of choice. Certainly isn't. For next week, the beginning of next week, we learned through our past lives that we need to have more trust in God and more faith in Him in this life as well. We remember that we are not meant to suffer hunger, or we're not meant to be poor in this life. Another meaning of this card could be that specifically as it says about food. So you work with food in past lives, and this is again coming back to you in this life and so on. It's not the case though this week, so I'm not going through it too much. For the weekend, you'll see how being connected to something positive in the past helps you to lead a more relaxed life in this incarnation. If you want my personalized past life reading, whether by using these cards or channeling angel messages, or use a normal tarot. You can use a normal tarot to get a past life reading. You don't necessarily need to buy this deck of cards, although it certainly is more specific and it certainly is better. So I want to send you angel blessings, and I want you to know that the Ascended Master Buddha is with you, if you want so, for the whole duration of next week. If you need assistance in discovering your karma and your past life. So your karma is the reflection of an action that is the dharma. So DHARMA, action, and then KARMA, as you know, karma, the reaction. So you put forth in the universe an action, whether an action physically or words, something that you act something and you receive something in return. So say you say a prayer and then you get an answer. Okay, dharma and karma. So good karma, good action, bad karma, bad action or actions. So, and your soul remembers every second of all of this, and that's how we develop an interest for past lives. We won't do a meditation today, but just know that Archangel Raziel can help you in discovering parts of your past lives that might not be clear for you. If you learn how to meditate, how to call on angels. If you don't, you contact me. My name is Rocco, Rocco. My last name spells Massarelli. You can find me on Facebook and add me as a friend if you like, or simply message me, email me. My email address is just below this video. And book a reading with me, spend some time with me, seek for help. I help everyone for deliverance and getting rid of Satan and evil spirits, or to gain insight on these things. I help people up to a certain point for free, so you can start by having a free consultation with me on these points. tell you what to do, but I always like to pray and help people that are possessed or in touch with the negative energies of the fallen in all ways that I can. So may Christ be with you today, and you have a beautiful week. Enjoy your weekend. Make it so that it's a preparation for the enjoyment of next week for you. And I'm sending you all people watching, all people who love my videos and truly love and respect God and me. I'm sending you angel blessings, and I wish you well, and I wish you the best. You have a great week. Ciao.